News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Katie Cook. The United States now has more than 950,000 confirmed cases of the coronavirus and more than 54,000 reported deaths. While the spread of the virus is slowing in certain major areas, new questions arise about how to maintain social distancing as the economy gradually reopens. CBS News correspondent Nicole Killian has the latest from the White House.
Dr. Deborah Birx, the White House coronavirus response coordinator, says social distancing will continue for months to come.
Social distancing will be with us through the summer to really ensure that we protect one another as we move through these phases.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said Sunday his state will likely begin to reopen the economy in certain areas after May 15th with precautions.
All that progress we made by flattening that curve, we could lose that in a matter of days if we're not careful.
Michigan's governor defended her state's stay-at-home restrictions, recently the focus of protest.
We have flattened that curve because people are doing the right thing and people recognize the value of the order that I've issued.
Some people who are venturing out, like Alicia Moore in Sacramento, California, say maintaining a safe distance isn't always easy.
We're all kind of just giving each other the eye, like, back up, you're a little too close.
Expedia and IAC chairman Barry Diller questions the practicality of social distancing in public places, such as airliners.
The idea that you can take the middle seat out of an airplane and have any kind of, quote, social distancing is absurd.
With more than 26 million jobless claims, a senior White House economic advisor says the unemployment rate could approach levels comparable to the Great Depression.
We're going to need really big, thoughtful policies to put together to make it so that people are optimistic again and they start the economy again.
Ford Motor Company confirmed it plans to recall a skeleton crew of workers on Monday to prepare factories for reopening, even as UAW members expressed concern during the pandemic. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said the state most likely peaked in its number of coronavirus cases and hospitalizations in early April. He says Florida's economy will reopen in phases. And back here in Kentucky, Governor Beshear just finished up his daily coronavirus update a few minutes ago. The governor announced 202 new cases, increasing the total number in the state to 4,074. There were 3 new deaths, and now 208 Kentuckians have lost their lives to the virus. 1,511 patients have recovered. One of the deaths was an 88-year-old woman in Jackson County who was connected to the Jackson Manor nursing home. Now, for more information from the governor's update today and other COVID-19 details, you can visit our website, WIMT.com. DriveThru COVID-19 testing increases tomorrow in Lexington. The state's partnership with Kroger is opening a location. Olivia Russell caught up with a doctor about what we can expect to learn from the new numbers.
Looks like right now we're about on the top of our curve.
We've heard about the curve for more than a month, and now we're getting a better idea of where we stand. Dr. Ryan Stanton says it's because of testing.
Because right now we're testing high-risk patients, those that end up in the emergency departments, those with significant symptoms, those admitted to the hospital. So we've got a very high-risk population now.
Increased drive-through services make testing more available to people with mild symptoms. And some sites, like the state's partnership with Kroger, are even available to people without symptoms at all. Of course, with increased testing, we expect the number of confirmed cases to rise. Dr. Stanton says people shouldn't be worried about that, though. In fact, the data could prove that Kentucky's death rate is actually lower than what it seems.
I think that number is going to drop pretty significantly with widespread testing, especially now that we're doing asymptomatic patients, because we're going to start to see those folks that really may have never known they even had it to begin with.
When it comes to reopening businesses, Dr. Stanton believes some can start, but slowly. People still need to be mindful of social distancing so we don't create another wave.
And I think that's going to be a long-term threat until there is a vaccine available.
In Lexington, Olivia Russell, WKYT.
Now, all appointments for this week have been filled there, but there will be another round of testing next week. And we've been seeing those wet and kind of dreary conditions all day today, and we're still seeing those as we head into this evening. If you look out your window or at our camera here at the WYMT studio, you can see those gloomy conditions there, very overcast skies and roads looking wet from these showers that we have seen pretty much all day today. And we're going to continue to see those as we head into tonight as well. So we're definitely going to be needing that rain gear as we head into tonight. Temperatures are only continuing to cool down, so we started off today more towards those 50s, and they've just slowly continued to drop throughout the daytime hours, and they're only going to drop as we head into tonight as well. And we do have these winds coming out of the north, just really bringing in that cool air, so we're actually going to get kind of chilly as we head overnight tonight. So definitely make sure you bundle up going into tonight, but by the time we get into tomorrow, we will warm up and plenty of sunshine will return, and then we'll only see temperatures warm up from there. Katie?
All right, Brooke, thank you. Well, it's an uncertain feeling when someone you know or even someone in your family tests positive for the novel coronavirus. WYMT's Madison Pergram tells us how one Knott County family had to experience this as one of their own sat in a hospital in Lexington.
Sheila Thornsberry walks out of Baptist Health in Lexington for the first time in nearly 23 days.
She started off thinking she just had a sinus infection and ended up being in the hospital practically the whole month of April and on a vent most of those times.
Before the virus took hold, a person who helps others.
Very caring. She's a physician's assistant at an urgent treatment center in Lexington. Wonderful mother, just an overall wonderful person.
After testing positive, she was sent home to recover, soon learning she was going to need further help to do that.
She and my brother were watching TV in separate rooms, and he texted her and said, "I've not heard from you. Are you asleep?" She said, "No, I'm having problems breathing."
For Karen Sandlin, Sheila's sister-in-law, waiting day after day in Knott County for the daily update.
At one point, they tried to take her off the vent, and I think she lasted 90 minutes maybe, and they had to put her back on.
After the long journey in the hospital, she is thankful to finally walk out on her own 2 feet.
She is just so happy to be home. She's happy to see her kids, her husband.
As she continues the long road to recovery.
Please take this serious. This virus is real, it is dangerous, and we just want everyone to take the precautions.
The applause and cheering showing the hard fight she fought and won in the month of April. Madison Pergram, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, the fight against COVID-19 is not over for Sheila. The family says it could be months before she makes a full recovery. Well, throughout quarantine, we've brought you drive-by birthday parties, funerals, and even baby showers. But what about a drive-in ring ceremony? On Sunday, the Pikeville Panthers got their state tournament rings in a drive-in ceremony. Each player came in 5 minutes apart and, of course, stayed 6 feet apart. All players got their ring, took pictures, and then drove away. Senior wide receiver Jackson Hensley says this means a lot when so much of his senior year was taken away.
I mean, it's unfortunate that we have to miss graduation and prom and that kind of stuff, baseball season. But winning this really, I mean, I feel closure with my senior year, so I don't feel like I missed out on anything.
Although the players did not get a normal ring ceremony, being together for this moment made up for the cancellation. As many churches find unique ways to hold services during the coronavirus pandemic, one church in Letcher County found a way to help cheer up their pastor as he preaches his sermon virtually. WYMT's Dakota Makris met with the pastor and his granddaughter today and has more.
The sign outside Millstone Missionary Baptist Church reads all services have been canceled.
I've never known of our church doors to be closed.
Bill Kraft has preached for 61 years. His granddaughter, Celeste Rife, says Sundays without service are challenging.
But particularly difficult for Papa. And on any given Sunday, he can look out over the congregation and he can tell you who's here and who's not.
And an idea was born to place signs on the pews written by church members.
He even stood at the gate
to help cheer the pastor up as he preaches to an empty church.
For Easter service, we'd like to fill the pews with your love letters to Papa, to the Lord, to our church. And it was beautiful.
And when he saw these letters of well wishes and support,
That thrills me to think about it. We miss our people. That's just like family. It's just a family.
These are legacies that I am going to keep and pass down for generations. Make a copy for Papa and keep a copy for me to pass down to my future, to my grandchildren and future grandchildren.
These legacies are works from a family.
It's bigger than our family. The effort has been with our church family and our community.
They now walk side by side reading the letters, waiting for the day they can all meet in person again. In Letcher County, Dakota Makers, WYMT Mountain News.
The family spent a couple days getting notes in from church members, and 5 family members helped to hang the signs on the pews. Coming up on Mountain News Weekend Edition, COVID-19 has most worried about their physical health, but what about mental health? Find out what one center is doing to help ensure good mental health during the outbreak.
And if you've been singing "Rain, Rain, Go Away," well, you might get your wish. I'll have tomorrow's forecast coming up.